Hey, what's happening, my fearless networking friends? Todd Falcone here. Okay, so I want to kick off 2022 and have a conversation with you guys briefly about fiscal responsibility and financial independence in the network marketing space and just in general, right? But definitely, we're going to be talking about being fiscally responsible and creating financial independence in network marketing, even if you don't have a mega check, okay? Look, here's the deal. I've been doing this for a very long period of time. I've seen people make big money in network marketing, huge checks, and they think the run is going to last forever. They think the run is never going to end. And inevitably what happens for a lot of people is they go overextend themselves, and they upgrade their lives, and they over-upgrade their lives, and they're buying all the fancy cars and the boats and the yachts and the who knows what they're buying, and they're spending tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on clothes and jewelry, and at that time they feel, okay, well, I can afford it, I'm making so much money. And I mean, I understand why people do that. I mean, naturally, if you have been living at a particular level for an extended period of time and that level is not a great level, and all of a sudden you're making more money, what do you do? You start to upgrade your life, right? You get a nicer TV, or you change the carpet in your home, or you buy a home, or you upgrade your car, or you buy new furniture since you've been living in the same furniture for 30 years and it's falling apart. And I get that, and I understand that, and there's nothing wrong with upgrading your life or upgrading your lifestyle. But the problem is, and I've seen this, like, this is, it's interesting, because I've done this for so long, and sometimes when I give lessons about, it's interesting, lessons about fiscal responsibility or financial responsibility, sometimes it falls on deaf ears. They're like, yeah, whatever, Todd, but what, you're not, it's like they take offense to it, and then the people that take offense to it are the ones that are guilty of it. The ones that are making big money and spending big money. And many of those people actually have come back to me like years later and said, oh my gosh, I was so stupid. I wish I would have heeded your advice. And it's not, like, I never want to give ill advice. Like, my job here as a trainer, speaker, whatever you want to call me in the network marketing space, is to help people navigate the waters here, and to have a long, successful, great career where you're at the end of your career and you have something to show for it. And so, like a quick example, like a long time ago, I was working for my family's radio station doing this like midnight to 6 shift. And there was a guy, and his name was Jack Parr. That was his name. And he would show up at like 6 a.m. and do like the 6 to 9 something. I don't know what the heck he did. And the guy was like, he was old, really old. My guess, I don't know, it was like mid to late 80s, driving a piece of crap car. And I remember this very, very clearly. And some of you guys, I know I've mentioned this at one time on a previous post. He says to me, he's like, kid, I think I was like maybe 18 or 19 at the time, probably 19. And he says, kid, you don't want to be like me, save your money. And I looked at this old dude and I thought, my gosh, I don't want to be like Jack. I don't want to be like this guy who's in his 80s, showing up to my family's radio station, working the board, which is like a menial responsibility at the time at the station, and having nothing to show for a life's work, right? So that scared the crap out of me. And then, and I'm sharing this with you because I don't know where you are in your life, but these are like a couple little lessons that led me into this. And then having been in the network marketing space for so long, definitely opened my eyes to it. And then my good friend Glenn, who I went to college with, as we were graduating college and I was literally beginning my career in network marketing, I literally got into network marketing right out of college. And he was starting a career in investing and financial planning. And I remember he wanted me to be one of his first clients. And at the time, I was saving no money. In fact, I was not only not saving money, but I was beginning to rack up credit card debt like a lot of people do. And so you're actually you're making money, but you're getting behind, right? And then you think, okay, it's cool, I can just make the minimum payment. Some of you guys have been in that situation, right? Where you're making the minimum payment on your credit card. It could take forever. I mean, you may never pay it off in fact, you probably would never pay it off if you're making the minimum payment with interest and other things. And so he was like, just, start with me with $50 a month. And I was like, dude, $50 a month, I can't do that. He's like, you can't save $50 a month? Are you kidding me? I don't know exactly how he phrased it, but it made it sound ridiculous that I couldn't sock away $50 a month. Now, I'm not talking about $50,000 a month or $50,000 a year. It was like I couldn't, $50 a month. And so I actually, started my first account with him when I was 22, and I've been investing with this guy for many, many years, for however many years it's been, right? 35 years. And I've increased and added different, accounts with him. I'm not going to go into my strategy, but what's interesting is that $50 a month has racked up into a huge sum of money over 35 years because I never stopped in that account. $50 a month. I've opened up other accounts and bigger accounts, but with that one account, I've always kept it at $50 a month, and it's pretty amazing what compound interest does, right? So I was fortunate early on to learn about the importance of fiscal responsibility, and I've always saved and I've always invested, and I've also lived a good life. It's not like and I have a great book, and I think I mentioned this either at somewhere, or maybe I think it was in my A team about there's a book that came out several years ago called The Millionaire Next Door, and it's a great book. Even to this day, I mean, the principles shared in that book are amazing. And what's cool is like the millionaire next door is a person who drives the used car and lives in a kind of a, good house, but it's not like some, a ridiculous sized mansion and all the fancy cars and all the stuff. But, they have, millions of dollars in the bank or millions of liquid assets. So they're a millionaire, but they don't look like it, right? And then you have, like, I saw this a lot when I lived in Scottsdale. I would call it the Range Rover apartment dweller. They have the Range Rover, but then they pull it up to their one-bedroom apartment that they're renting. And they're like their Range Rover, the cost of their Range Rover is more than their monthly rent, right? And it's like, showing off. And I bring that up because in network marketing, people do that all the time, right? They feel like, and I probably did it early on. I remember my first status symbol of success was an 18-karat Rolex President with like diamond bezel. And I remember when I first started making bigger money in network marketing, I felt that I could afford it. I went out and I bought that watch. It was like the symbol of success in network marketing because my original mentor had this diamond encrusted 18-karat Rolex President. It's funny because I don't even have that watch anymore, but I felt like that was like this, it was cool to like show the diamonds and show that I was successful. And I think a lot of people in network marketing, sometimes kind of fall victim to that, where they have to like prove to themselves, or to their peers that they're making money by showing off, right? And I think that's done quite a bit in network marketing, probably because of the naysayers and people who the disbelievers, and it's like, look, see, I told you so, right? It's like you're like proving that you've made big money and you're through the things that you're showing. But the funny thing is, anybody can acquire different things through leverage, right? Somebody can go borrow money and drive a fancy car, but they're really broke, or they can borrow money and be in a house, but they're really broke, or whatever. I don't know. To me, the sexiest thing is money in the bank, right? Like not having to worry about, whether you're going to be able to survive, right? And so, the main message I want to give with you guys today is this: you don't have to have the mega check to create wealth. Okay. In fact, again, and I'm not going to go into the litany of stories. There are many stories, many people, many personal friends of mine who have made big money, had this accelerated velocity run in their check, and then it adjusted, and then their lifestyle with the very $20,000 monthly mortgage and the combined payments of who knows what, $20,000 a month on cars and the boat deal and this and that and the vacation and the other, and it's like their monthly nuts like $50,000, $100,000 a month, and then because they're making a couple hundred, and all of a sudden the check, decreases, and now it's wait, I can't make the payments because they were just kind of living. It's like they were living almost paycheck to paycheck, even at $100,000 a month or $200,000 a month, because their expenses were so high. And so, and I've seen many of them having to sell everything. And when you're doing a fire sale on all of your stuff, you're not getting premium price for it, right? You're not getting what it's worth, because you're like, I gotta eat. So you're selling the $25,000 watch for $6,000 or something like that. When in an open market, you could probably get market value for it, right? So I hope I scare some of you, actually, right? Scare some of you into not making that mistake. And then I have other friends, like I won't mention his name, but he's still living in the same house, 1,600 square foot house. He's made millions of dollars. He's never gone out and bought the big house or the big fancy cars and stuff. But he's got millions of dollars in the bank, and his house is paid for. Versus friends of his that have made even the same amount of money or more that have less to show for it because of how they've lived their lives. And like I was looking up this morning, and I pulled up, and you can do this. You can pull out a compound interest calculator. And so like nobody's going to say, and so again, like kind of the message here is you don't have, number one, be fiscally responsible. Another great book to read is The Richest Man in Babylon. If you haven't, it's a great read. It's a simple read. It should be added to your library. I think it should be required reading for anybody in this profession. And so this morning I was looking up on a financial calculator, and I've got it here, and I'll just look at the numbers. So nobody's going to say like $2,000 a month is big mega bucks in network marketing. In fact, it's not. But $2,000 a month is not that hard to earn. I mean, it's not a big check, and the truth is, if you can get to $2,000, you should be able to get to 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 if you continue on the habits that got you to a couple grand a month. But let's say you never make big money in network marketing, you get to like $2,000 a month, and you never leave your job. In fact, so many people are like in a rush to leave their job. But then there's other people that are like, I have other friends of mine as well that have never left their job, who make 15, 20, 30, 40 grand a month in network marketing, and they like their occupation, so they've never left it. So this has always been a side business. And I'm never a big fan of like telling people, again, leave your job, quit your job, be in a rush to quit your job. You got to prove to yourself that you can make money in this business, and then it's up to you to decide at some point in the future if you want to do this as a full-time career. But let's just say you're like, I love my job, but I would love to make some residual income, and even though I'm not highly paid in my job, I get other rewards, and I know I'm not going to get rich in my job, but I really love what I do. I love the contribution that I'm giving to society or whatever, and I just really dig what I do. And I dig this network marketing thing too, but I'm probably never going to do it full time. But it seems pretty cool, and I want to go build a check here. Let's say you get to a couple grand a month. You don't leave your job. Your job is the thing that that you survive on, right? And that you can put a little of that extra money away. And then what you do is you take every dime of the $2,000 and you start investing it. Let me give you just some numbers here. If you took $2,000 a month and socked it away, and if you did that for 10 years, and we're looking at, again, I'm not making any guarantees here. I'm just giving, this is an example, right? If you took $2,000 a month for 10 years at 10% interest, that would be $24,000 a year that you would have put away. A total over 10 years of $240,000. That $240,000 after 10 years at 10% interest would be $418,000. Okay, big difference, right? You put $240,000, it's worth $418,000 at 10% annualized return. If you did it for 20 years, ready for this? If you put $2,000 a month away for 20 years at 10% average interest, it would be worth a little bit over 1.5 million. So you're a millionaire at $2,000 a month that again, not big money, but you put away a couple grand a month for for a 20-year period of time. Let's just quickly look at $5,000 a month. Well, if you did $5,000 a month over 10 years, that would be $50,000 or $60,000 a year that you're putting away. After 10 years, that would be $600,000 that you put away. That would now be worth $1.046 million. If you did it for 20 years, it would be worth $3.8 million at 10% interest. So I mean, it's kind of fun to play with a compound interest calculator, but I think some people don't even really think about 10 years, 20 years, and $1,000 a month or a couple grand a month. So the truth is, you don't need the mega check in order to become financially independent. What you need to have is the discipline to put the money away and to not touch it, and to put it into whatever that thing is that you want to invest in that's going to yield the return that you're looking to get. And it could be whatever it is. I'm not going to tell you what you should do with your money. But I just think that, again, there's a big light at the end of the tunnel, and it doesn't have to be a $100,000 a month check. Now, think about that. Well, what if you're making $100,000 a month in network marketing and you're taking $80,000 a month of that, because you're only, you should be able to live on $20,000 a month, $80,000 of that away, and you're socking it away in investments. Where are you going to be in 5, 10, 15, or 20 years? So I don't know. Great way to start the year. Fiscal responsibility, financial responsibility, financial independence can be had without having to make big bucks. It requires making a decision. I think you need to look at your age and go, okay, if you're 40 and you're not socking money away, you need to start now. If you're 20, if you're 25, if you're 30, man, I'll tell you, if you start putting money away in your early 20s, you can be done by the time you're 40, right? If you do it right, you can be completely done if you put enough money away in the right kind of investments and you're smart with your money, if you're fiscally responsible, you don't ever overextend yourself. And I know there's a lot of people that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that are like, oh my gosh, I'm coming to the end of this thing, and I'm gonna have to work at Jack in the Box, until I'm dead. And I don't think anybody really wants to do that, right? So financial responsibility can be had with not investing a huge amount of money, but it needs to start. If you haven't started, now is a good time, especially since we're kicking off the new year here. So I don't know where you're at, but I love you guys. If you're on my YouTube channel, what's up, YouTubers? If you're on my podcast, come on over to my website. You can see other details, other free downloads to help you succeed in the profession of network marketing. You go to toddfalcone.com/episode 160. Again, toddfalcone.com/episode 160. Have an amazing day. Happy New Year. We'll see you soon.